For my personal PD project this year, I started with a need for creativity, to be more creative in how I taught and how I planned instruction, a need for saving time, both in the classroom and in how I taught. I wanted to have more fun, and I wanted my students to have more fun learning as well, and I wanted to provide that by providing more powerful, more engaging activities and projects. The way that I thought to do this that most fit, the most naturally, was through the flipped classroom, which basically turns the traditional teaching model on its head. Normally, teachers give a lot of instruction, they give even some guided practice, and then at the end, students have a little bit of time for applying their knowledge. The flipped classroom flips that over and minimizes and shortens instruction to what's really necessary, and then provides a ton of application time in the classroom to actually use those skills and develop them further. The flipped classroom, I have a bit of experience from last year when I taught 4th grade in the United States. I filmed my math videos and I posted them on YouTube and sent them home if kids wanted to watch them at home before. And we'll get into talking a little bit about that later, about the different ways that you can have kids watch the videos, but I followed a simple formula to make my videos. I followed the grade level times 1.5, and that should be the longest that your videos should ever be. So, for example, in grade 1 minute for grade 1 is the bottom, and the most that you'd want to do is 1.5 minutes. We do this because developmentally students can only handle so much and actually process it and put it into use immediately, and that's why we want to make them shorter rather than longer so we don't lose students. Now, before I even got into it, I needed to know the why. Why bother with the flipped classroom? As I've done my research, I've learned that the flipped classroom is a major shift in efficiency. The old school traditional model of teaching is really inefficient by wasting a bunch of time with the teacher explaining and rambling, going on rabbit trails, managing behavior, etc., etc. We waste time that the kids could be using learning and applying their skills. It opens the door. It opens the door for higher order thinking and hands-on application. As you are probably familiar with Bloom's taxonomy, we want students to be up here in the creating category. That's the most higher order thinking skill that you can do, is to create or even to teach. There's a reason that this is so small, is because so few projects and activities can actually get kids to that point where they're creating using their knowledge. With the flipped classroom, it gives you time to fit into that tiny part of the triangle. It's easy to implement and use, contrary to popular belief, and it's relevant to every single subject area, even PE. The way that I did this, I then moved on to the how-to. I used what's called a paper slide, and that's actually the video that I'm doing right now, where I slide in paper slides with all the information on them. To do this, I first break down a concept into its most basic form, and then over several pieces of paper, I write and draw steps and instructions, some sample problems, to basically give them the gist, to give them the idea, so that they can understand the concept. Afterwards, I film a one-take, mistakes and all video, with an appropriate length for the grade level or age. As you can tell, I've already made a few mistakes in this video, but that's okay because it creates an authentic experience. It doesn't seem like something that's professionally done, something that is too commercial or hard to connect with. The students can still connect with you this way. Now, I know you're probably thinking this, me? Film? No way. But yes, I'm going to show you just how easy it is. This is how I am doing this right now. I have a selfie stick mount right here, 30,000 rupiah, hooked up to a flexible arm tripod, which you can get for 75,000 rupiah. Now, my phone is a camera. There's no need to buy a camera, there's no need to buy expensive software. My phone can already film and record. Then what I've done is I've spaced out my papers in order so that I can slide them in and out of the frame, creating an experience kind of like PowerPoint, but a little more engaging to watch. I only slide in the pages when I need them, and all the content is provided on these pages. You might be wondering, how do students access these videos? All I do is I simply upload them to YouTube when I'm done, and you can either make them public or unlisted so that only your parents can have the links to the videos. Regardless, you can either email these home daily or start a blog where you post a video every day or maybe every week, and you just share the blog link to your parents for them to check every night. Is there a new video? Oh great, this will help with tomorrow's lesson. That's maybe what parents think. Another thing that is important to think about is, are you going to assign watching these videos as homework so the students can come to school and have the entire class period for learning? Or are you going to show the video the day of? There are pros and cons to both, and I'm going to talk about them. The pros to the night before is that all of the class is free for projects, labs, etc., other hands-on activities. And it also means that parents and students can watch it together, so parents know what you're teaching, and the students are held responsible for their own learning. One of the cons is that it's hard to monitor whether the students are actually watching the videos or not, and not every student has access or is allowed access. Pros of showing the videos the day of are that it still saves a lot of class time. If you make a video that's 3 minutes, that still leaves you with a ton of open time. And it also ensures that every single student gets to watch the video. A con is that it does use a bit of your class time. It's a little less transparent because students are able to watch the videos, but parents don't have as easy access to the content that you're teaching. The student is not held responsible for their own learning because you're still administering the content. We want students to be in control of their own learning in the way that they are taking responsibility for learning the content instead of you just being the authority of all content. Now, some questions for moving forward that I have personally in this project is how to implement this successfully in grade 1. With such little kids, it's hard for me to know how I can actually do this and have them do higher order thinking type skills. Now, another one I have is flipping really necessary or worth it at such a young age? Will it be as beneficial as it can be in some of the older grades? And finally, how do you fill the class time with meaningful, engaging projects consistently? How do you fill so much time? That's what I've been thinking about, and I hope that you now understand a little bit more about the flipped classroom and what I've been learning and understanding about how it works. Thanks for watching.